I am deep into my Februllage journey, even though it's just the first few days of February. That means when I'm thinking Februllage, I am contemplating projects that won't take me too long and also something small and minimal. And you guys know I do love my minimals. So the Februllage prompts have actually been good for me because they spark interest. I see what other people are doing, totally inspiring for me, and they for for brevity purposes, I'm going to say they force me to maybe get out of my comfort zone and challenge me. They are also turning into something of exercises. So this one I think is going to be quick. Famous last words, because next thing you know, you have a 3 hour video you have to watch. Just kidding. But these young ladies are going to be my focal point. I also have chosen a possible background and a foreground and maybe a little angel. The prompt I'm working on is encounter. And look, Tut might make it into this video. Again, famous last words. It's a short video. King Tut will be in it, and then what do you know? And I'm also going to introduce Marcus Aurelius into my work. And I think I am going to get started. So I hope you stick around and watch what I come up with. Some explanation here before we move on about what I'm doing. I'm going to cut off this part, and I kind of want it to be tilted over here and King Tut right over here, so it's kind of like this maybe. I'm thinking about deviating from Tut and looking at this more. I believe I am going to go ahead and cut that part of his head dress, I guess is what it's called, off and leave him with the top part of it, but keep those other features like these ears. Ears aren't really a feature, are they? Features are like eyes, nose, mouth, so I'm going to keep his golden ears and the top part of this headdress crown. I'm not sure. Again, I apologize for my ignorance, and it's not my intention to offend or make light of something. I'll find out what King Tut's headdress is actually called and correct myself. So I'm going to just cut away this portion, maybe save these blue and gold stripes for another collage, another day. Of course, keep his beard. It's going to be a fun little absurd collage. And again, it's about encounters, and this is an encounter of sorts because who ever heard of King Tut and Marcus Aurelius encountering each other? I don't think it was possible. I'm sure, gosh, I don't know. Okay, here I'm bad with history. Did Marcus Aurelius come first or King Tut? I don't know. We'll put our minds to it and we'll figure it out. I'll get y'all an answer. So this is what my thinking is. Something funny, absurd, and this was the background. I'm not sure about this background anymore. Okay, that looks better. I always turn things upside down. For some reason, when you turn things upside down, it just works better. Now, building this, I don't really care for the hair there, but I don't think there's much I can do about it. Although King Tut will probably cover quite a bit of this. But you know what? I'm probably going to have to cut off his beard. So it kind of lines up that way. Aww, I really liked his beard too. Sorry, King Tut. Let's see. Okay. Kind of different. Now he almost looks like Nefertiti. Okay. like this. This is what I had in mind, something like this. An encounter between King Tut and Marcus Aurelius. That's the encounter part. I also cut out this angel. Do I want this angel? I don't know. And I'm not sure about the background again. I like it this way. I believe I turned it to the side. And I'm going to be cutting this portion off as well so that it's, we can save some space. Now, I'm going to trim away. Do I want to keep these heads? I might want to keep these heads for something else, so I'm just going to gently trim them away. They might come in handy for another collage. Maybe the next one, I don't know. But I don't know. I'm really not certain if I will keep them, but I thought about keeping them intact only because they would offer support for their new heads, but I don't. It's not necessary to the construction and the integrity of the piece. We're just trying to be funny here, and oh my gosh, I almost fell right back into place. Okay. So I really like this background. I like it because it's kind of light, but it might be too much with this dark. So I think I'm just going to cut out the window. I may end up actually going for a different background, but I've been thinking about backgrounds a lot lately in my collages, because backgrounds can say so much, and they also add to the absurdity of your collage. One of the quick collages that I did actually just this morning for today's prompt that we had was called Warmth. And I only used 3 pieces of ephemera. I did not do a video of it, but there you'll see all of the Februllage collages at the end. I'll go ahead and post the picture here, because if you're not following me on Instagram, you're not going to see it right away, and you'll have to wait till the end of the month. So this is Warmth, and the background was very important for me. And as you can see, just 3 pieces of ephemera, and it's small. So sometimes you have to cut away extraneous stuff, and backgrounds add interest. Backgrounds talk about where we are. So while the background's not the focal point, it can really change up your message if that's what you're going for in a collage. So now this looks, it's a weird window, so we don't have the horizon line anymore. It's supposed to go this way, but I'm going to turn it this way because I think it'll just be more interesting. And because I'm not using every little bit here, I can go ahead and place Tut here. I like that. And Marcus Auerlius, right? Now we can even do this. I could do something like this even. This might be kind of fun. Give them a little bit more neck. And the hair that remained here, it's not a big deal. Okay, let's see. I'm going to switch it because this background might look better against the Tut head instead of Marcus Aurelius's head, because Marcus is darker. He might pop out more on the sky portion of this background. Yeah, he does. You can see him a little better, and King Tut will pop out a lot better with a darker background. So I'm going to need to attach them before I move on, really, and I like the way this is coming out. My little angel guy, he's too much. He's too much because it just, he's too much. But don't worry, we'll use him. And these girls, I'll just put them off to the side. Now, I had grabbed the cityscape because I thought a cityscape sitting in front of these new people would have been very interesting. But now I'm not so sure. So I'm going to go back to Timelapse, put their new heads on, and give it some more thought. I do like the look of this cityscape in front of my folks here. The thing I am concerned about is just all the detailed work. Kind of like this. I wish this was a little longer now, but I guess I could cut it right here. I'm reluctant to do that though. I guess I may as well. It's kind of a minimal in a way. Not really, but yes. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to cut it. It's just paper after all. I'm going to cut it and see what happens. I don't know if I want to do all of that work right now. Cutting out the little nooks and crannies of that cityscape. Oh, that's why it was stuck. I put tape on it already, and now I'm cutting through my tape because that's where I wanted them to go, and I was happy. Okay, well, when this happens, and it does happen, here's the little tape that's hinged it together. It's hinged right there, too. When this happens, I just use the edge of my knife, and I come in, and I find that tape, and I kind of just saw it free. Or you can just cut again. Just kind of give it a gentle cut. Could use that straight edge. Ah, there we go. But you can just do that kind of cut, and this is going to be covered up, this little goof. Not a big deal. It really is not a big deal. That looks more interesting, actually. I may not even need my cityscape, or do I? Do I need the cityscape? Does it need that? Oy, not sure. And now the body, the female body down here, you can't see it as much. So it's kind of a bummer. I don't know if I did the right thing here. I mean, it definitely reads as, well, it sort of does. Kind of cut off too much, I feel. And then maybe, gosh, it almost fits like perfectly in here. And so it doesn't have to be like a landscape. It kind of overlaps a little bit. And then that would eliminate me having to use this. I think this is too busy anyway, so I'm going to kind of abandon it. It's a little bit, I like it this way because it looks like it's more, it just looks better to me. A little weird in a good way because Februllage and minimal and absurdity. So I think I'm just going to do that. Just keep it together like this. Got a little bit of space here. I can go ahead and add my tape. For something like this, yeah, I won't bother gluing it because it's cleaner this way. I love using packing tape. I'm pretty much a packing tape person now. I know there's also double-edged tape that can be used, and that's very very clean. Haven't used it yet. I haven't. I've dealt with it. I've worked with it. Not dealt with. Like it's a bad thing. But it definitely serves this purpose. Here's my angel guy again. No angels in this. Just Marcus and Tut. An encounter. Is it an encounter? I don't know. I also have this. This might make it way too wild. I don't know. I don't know. It's a minimal. It's definitely a minimal. I don't even know if I like it very much. Maybe I'll do another thing for encounter. I'm abandoning King Tut and Marcus Aurelius. I just really don't care for it. I'm sorry, King Tut. I can't with King Tut, guys. I just can't. There is one collage I made of King Tut that I like. I'll post it here if I can find it. It's somewhere in my files. But there's something about me and King Tut. I hope I haven't jinxed myself with Marcus Aurelius. So, interesting little exercise here. Maybe it was a warm up, but I'm moving on to something else. So, I was going through the ephemera I have nearby. I saw her on this motorcycle. I have this guy, and it's like a chance encounter on this background. I really like it, and that's what I'm going to go with, I think. Because it's me, guys. It's me. I am contemplating putting this into Photoshop in case I want to save this for later, or I can simply cut away. So here is my thinking, what I want to do. I want to save this mountain range and put something else in the back. What am I thinking? This. I am kind of stuck on this. Can you tell? I keep bringing it out for some collages. I could just go ahead and just go ahead and do it. You know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. And this was one of those books too. I got it for free somewhere. I have a library that is in my travels that I attend quite often, and I get so much cool ephemera, especially newer magazines, which they can top about $8 to $9. I get these newer magazines, and I walk out with a handful of cool new magazines for less than $2. You cannot beat that, and it'll last me a long time. So since I'm not keeping that sky backdrop, just these mountains, I'm going to just use my scissors now. Sorry, I went ahead and cut my vintage girl on her scooter off camera. I was doing some thinking and pondering, and I just went ahead and started cutting, and I was going to stop and film it and talk to you guys, but I got in the zone, and once I got in the zone, I was like, I'm not stopping. Didn't want to break my concentration. Not that it was, super hard or anything, but this is what happened. And I can play with these other backdrops too. I could probably use this backdrop because the focal points aren't too crazy. Well, this guy's a little colorful. So this is what I was thinking, something along the lines of this. I have other colors I can go with, but it's really important that that's going on. Let's try a more plain background. How does that look? It's really plain. I used it for another prompt. I could always put the sky back, right? If necessary. Look, it fits. Yeah, that does kind of work, but I just need to cut off this white border. We don't have to get crazy here. You do want to keep things simple. And when you do keep it simple, sometimes it's just far more interesting. That's what I'm discovering. And today's been interesting with collaging. I was just like, not all over the place. And not struggling. I'm still having a good time, and that's what it's all about. Look what I can do. I can kind of shrink the sky, so we actually make the background a little smaller. That is something else. That works. Okay, I like that, guys. I like that a lot. This makes me happy. Can make it even smaller. We can do that. Doesn't have to be the whole page. All right, let me go to Timelapse and put this baby together. Now, the reason I like using the packing tape is sometimes it's easier to pull up the packing tape than not. And I needed to do a readjustment. It's not going to hurt anything, and it's not going to show any ripping. But I really want her eye to be looking directly at that hummingbird. So I need a little bit more sky than I originally planned. And I'm thinking maybe about there. And I can just play with it a little bit more. I think about there will work. Gotta make sure I want her entirely on the picture plane because everything about her scooter is very interesting. Again, got this from, I think it was a Dutch magazine or a German magazine. And from the 1970s, you can't go wrong. As collage artists, we know. We get something from that vintage, we are going to have a good time. So there we go. I think I just want to make sure she is staring at our other focal points. So this is a case of two focal points. But I think she's the main focal point. And this is going to get cropped a little bit. This was on the same page as this image. It was actually closely related to it, and I cut it off because I thought it was too much. And I was going to use it again. It's still too much. This is just going to be a nice, simple piece, right? So I think this is what I want to do. I want her here. I am just going to give her a little tape. I am back to using my trusty drafting tape. Get it out of there. And keeping her in place. So what I'm going to do is, this actually takes me back to when I was like in elementary school, rolling this tape over to make kind of a double side. And this is when it's like, yeah, this is when double side tape might be good, but I just placed it on the back here. And the only thing that isn't good about this is you can see it. See? Now you really can see it, right? It's not terrible. I'm not crazy about it, but I didn't really feel like pulling. I don't want to deal with glue right now. I got to be careful. This is vintage. Okay, because the drafting tape will stick to the old image, and it's more likely to rip. I want my hummingbird there. I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to roll it over, and I can even cut it in half if I really want to stretch it. When I was working on collage on the fly, I was traveling and I had the urge to create collage. The trouble was I had none of my material. I didn't have a glue stick, and it was one of those cases. It was the middle of the night, and I wanted to collage. So this is what I ended up doing. I was using Scotch tape, and thankfully I had the Scotch tape because it allowed me to create the collage. And this is exactly what I did. Just rolled it over into a little cylinder and stuck it to the back of the ephemera, and then I had collage. And that made me happy. And this is done. This is done, guys. I'm going to crop it a little bit in Photoshop. I could do it now even, I guess. Should we? Why not? I've gone this far. So my little gazelle guy. Line it up with on the grid so it just makes it a little bit neater. Try to keep it balanced that way. Yeah, nice, good old-fashioned straight edge. I didn't have my straight edge either when I was traveling. I have seen other collage artists who travel and they have little travel kits. My traveling was a last minute thing. I needed to get somewhere quickly and there was no time. So that's why I ended up doing the collage on the fly video, and I liked it. I'll put the link to that in the description for you guys. Okay, so we're done. Here's Encounter. We have a collage. I am sorry, guys, about King Tut and Marcus Auerlius. I don't know. I like this one better. Sorry, I just do. So you see them. I don't know if I'm going to post this one. I'll just, whatever. It's whatever. Maybe put that here. I don't know. Does that work? Okay, now I'm just goofing off, which is good. Do that. We all need to play when it comes to collage and life in general. So I hope you are playing. I hope you are having a great time. And I thank you so much for joining me on this collage journey. I will see you next time.